In this episode of The Frieze, the Yankees played their spring training opener today. Key takeaways. Next, more thoughts on the Luke Voit trade. Did the Yankees wait too long to trade him? Next, Domingo German is headed to the 60-day IL. Does the Yankees rotation have enough? Next, the Yankees have been linked to a pair of Athletics starting pitchers. Full scouting reports on Sean Manaea and Frankie Montas. And finally, Aaron Judge could be getting a lifetime appointment. It's baseball season. I'm Derek, and this is The Frieze.
Good afternoon. How do you like that? Swings, and this is strike three. And the Yankees win again.
We got our first look at the Yankees this season post-lockout. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa leading off the game with a double. Gleyber Torres picked up a walk. And then first-round draft pick Austin Wells knocks him in with a base hit through the right side. Oswald Peraza picks up an RBI ground out to the right side. We got a look at Hayden Wesneski today. He's the Yankees' number 6 overall prospect according to Baseball America. He was throwing that cutter. He looked really good. Yankees got burned a little bit by former Yankee Greg Allen, who hit a long home run. We got to look at Anthony Volpe today. He struck out. Pitch looked a little bit high to me, but his swing looked good. And then we saw Everson Pereira have a couple of nice cuts, but he also went down swinging. Rudolfo Duran hit an absolute nuke to left field in the top of the 9th for a home run, but the Yankees fall. And reminder, don't read too much into spring training results. The Yankees didn't really send any of their regulars today. The only guys that we saw that could potentially play in the major leagues at the beginning of the season were Estevan Florial. He's been one of the Yankees' top prospects for a while. We saw Joey Gallo and Gleyber Torres. Torres picked up a base hit. I didn't love what I saw from him on foul balls. He was doing that thing where he was falling towards first base again. Joey Gallo looks like he's put on a little bit of muscle, and he's looking strong. But the Yankees fall 4-3 to the Pirates in their spring opener. Okay, so a lot of people are kind of disappointed with the return that the Yankees got for the former home run champion, Luke Voit. They're underwhelmed that they're just getting a single-A prospect and one who didn't actually have great numbers last year. But I've done a little bit of research since the trade broke. He's a big kid. He's 6'4", 220 pounds, and he threw over 100 miles an hour before he was drafted. And since he was a first-round draft pick in 2020, you know that the Yankees had to have him on their radar. They had to be looking at him as a potential first-round draft pick if they like him. And they've probably been following him, and they probably have metrics on him that maybe the Padres don't have, or maybe the Padres do have, and they just wanted the bat of Luke Voit. I don't see this as a salary dump, even though the Yankees are unloading $5 million in salary. I look at this kid as a high upside prospect. He's big and he's built like a pitcher. And 100 miles an hour, you can't teach that. Now, I know these days a lot of people throw 100 miles an hour, but the Yankees might be able to turn him into a dominant reliever or something like that. But I think this might ultimately work out for both sides. I think Luke Voit's going to do a nice job in San Diego, and I'm liking this kid as a prospect. One thing that does concern me is that it seems like the Yankees may have sold a little bit low on Luke Voit. If they had traded him a bit earlier, you might have gotten a little bit more, but when the Yankees signed Anthony Rizzo, that told other teams that you had to trade Luke Voit, and that could have affected how much other teams were offering for the Yankees to trade him. So maybe you held on to him a little bit too long, lost a little bit of his value. Now he still returned a first-round draft pick from just a couple of years ago and a top 15 prospect from another organization. But what could you have gotten for him if you had traded him prior to lockout? I guess we'll never know. So we found out a little bit more about why Domingo German is going on the IL. He's got an impingement in his pitching shoulder. Now that's not good. That's essentially inflammation, tendinitis of the rotator cuff muscles. I'm reading all the medical stuff, and I'm just kind of a dumb person, so I can't even pronounce half of it. But Domingo German has electric stuff when he's healthy and pitching regularly. Unfortunately, he had the suspension, and he's worn down late in the season twice. And this might have been a situation where the lockout hurt the Yankees, because if he finished the season and the Yankees told him to rest for a couple of months and then start throwing midwinter. If he did feel pain, which obviously he still does, there's no word if this is a separate injury, but it sounds like it's the same injury from last season. Soreness, diagnosed finally as an impingement. If he was feeling pain, he couldn't tell the Yankees. He couldn't communicate with them because the teams and the players were not allowed to talk, not even about injuries, all winter. So this is a situation in which the lockout has negatively affected the Yankees' preparation. There's no word yet, at least that I've seen, on how long Domingo German is going to be out, but tendinitis can be kind of a tricky thing because it can linger. I've had it. It can last all summer. It can last an entire year. Obviously, if he was feeling this last summer and he's still feeling it, it's lasted a while already. So they're going to need to shut him down for at least a couple of months. So we may see him later in the season, but I wouldn't count on him being a factor in the rotation until at least July or August. All right, we've all witnessed the fire sale by the Oakland Athletics over the last few days. They traded Chapman to the Blue Jays. They traded Olsen to the Braves. Still think the Yankees would have been great with Olsen, but they would have had to give up Volpe and Dominguez, which I'm not prepared to do, and I know that the Yankees weren't prepared to do either since it didn't happen. However, there could be a chance that the Yankees still make a deal with the A's. They're apparently talking to them still about two of their starting pitchers. The first is Sean Manaea, and Sean Manaea is a guy I've always liked. He's a crafty left-handed pitcher, doesn't throw real hard, but he's got a very good changeup, and he's a veteran. He's been around a while. He's got a lot of energy. You're going to love him if the Yankees pick this guy up. He's kind of like the Rougned Odor type of energy, but as a pitcher, he's very animated. He's got a good breaking ball, had 194 strikeouts last year. And just like left-handed hitting plays very well at Yankee Stadium, left-handed pitching plays very well at Yankee Stadium too, because when you're facing a righty, which most hitters are, if they hit a long fly ball to left field, most of the time, it's going to be caught. It's a long way out there towards left center field, what they call Death Valley at Yankee Stadium. So Sean Manaea would be my top choice, even though he's probably not the better pitcher. Frankie Montas is the better of the two. He's younger. He's really a power pitcher, throws 95 plus. He's a big guy. He's intimidating. He's got nasty stuff, and I think he's going to cost a lot more than Manaea would in terms of prospect return. Now, there is a non-zero chance that the Yankees are talking to the A's about both of these guys. That would cost a significant amount in prospects. There's been a lot of talk in recent days about whether or not the Yankees would trade Gleyber Torres, and just watching him in the game today, I could see that he's still falling over towards first base after every single swing. He's still trying to kill the ball. I have high hopes that if the Yankees keep him, he can work on his swing a little bit with Dylan Lawson, the new hitting coach, already doing wonders with Isaiah Kiner-Falefa. But I just don't feel like Gleyber Torres has made the kind of progress that I wanted to see. And granted, this is the smallest possible sample size, one spring training game, but I'm just seeing a lot of the same problems that I saw last year. And we've seen that the A's are going for big prospect hauls in their trades. They've got a number of good prospects from both the Braves and the Blue Jays. And if they can pick off a few of the Yankees' top prospects, perhaps an Oswald Peraza, someone of that nature, it'll go a long way towards helping them secure that new stadium. You build some excitement, and then you got a young team of affordable stars under control coming up right around the time that the stadium is being finished. There were some more rumors today that Miguel Andujar could be the next one to be traded, and apparently the Yankees have lowered their asking price on him as well. I don't think he'll fetch a first-round draft pick like Luke Voit did. I think you'll see another kind of unheard-of prospect coming our way. He's really a perfect fit for the National League DH. He's a guy with a great swing, a beautiful swing. He hits the ball to all fields. Now, he's not super patient at the plate. He doesn't walk much, but I could see him hitting 300 with a 330 on-base percentage one day, especially after they ban the shift. He hits the ball very, very hard. That's why he gets so many doubles. You'll see him rip them down the line. He hits a lot of balls in the gap. He's got power line to line. You remember that series of games in Minnesota last year where he hit a couple of absolute nukes. He's got a ton of potential with the bat. Unfortunately, he was kind of sidelined by that shoulder injury, and that kind of derailed his career a little bit. Defensively, they've tried him at third base when he first came up, and he was one of the worst third basemen in basically Major League history. They moved him to left field. I thought he looked better in left field last year. He takes good routes on the ball, and he's got a very strong arm, and it's accurate, and he hits the cutoff man. He doesn't always take the best routes on the balls that are on the ground in the outfield, like those hard singles that are kind of skipping towards the gap. You saw him try and cut those off a little early a few times last year, and they got by him. But I think he's got a ton of potential to be a great Major League hitter. I don't know if the Yankees are going to find enough at-bats for him, so it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up as a National League DH in the next couple of days. The Yankees owner Hal Steinbrenner said a couple of days ago that over these next few days, including today, you would think, the Yankees were going to be engaging Aaron Judge's agents in contract discussions. So it sounds like they're working on a long-term deal or preparing a long-term offer for Aaron Judge. That could be one of the reasons that they didn't go out and get one of the big free agents like Freddie Freeman or Carlos Correa, although Carlos Correa remains a possibility if you believe some of the rumors on Twitter. I don't think it's going to happen, but I think it's great for Aaron Judge that he's going to be getting a contract offer. Judge has said that he wants to get a contract done by opening day, and you have to figure that his earnings potential in New York is pretty much higher than anywhere else except for perhaps Los Angeles. So that's off the field endorsements, billboards, commercials, things like that. Maybe he could be in a movie or something if he was in LA. But he's going to earn a lot off the field if he stays in New York. So that means he doesn't need to really frisk the Yankees for $300 million. I don't think he would get that much anyway. I'm kind of looking at an 8-year deal similar to the one that Matt Olson just got from the Braves. 8 years, maybe $160 million, something like that. It's definitely going to be over $20 million per year. Giancarlo Stanton makes $22 million from the Yankees. I think Judge will get more than that just on principle. He's younger and he plays more defense. So I'm looking at 8 years at about $24 to $25 million for Judge. Let's call it $25 million. Over 8 years, that comes out to $200 million, and he can make another $100 million off the field with endorsements if he plays well and remains personable. That's plenty. He just got married. Obviously, this would set he and his family and his future children up for generations. I think the Yankees are going to get it done. Look forward to Aaron Judge signing here before opening day.